Hello there. Welcome to Blitz Transmissions. This is the Blitzcast number 70. I'm Tommy. Before we get into the content of this week's episode of the Blitzcast, as always, make sure to check out the laundry list of links that can be found in the description below. If you're not yet subscribed on YouTube, make sure you do that because I have awesome Star Wars content coming out all the time. If you're an ARC Trooper in my Patreon, you would have seen this Blitzcast episode early. If you'd like access to early content, monthly giveaways, or other awesome benefits, the link to my Patreon is in the description below. Become an ARC Trooper for just $4.99 a month. If you're a fan of the reviews I do on YouTube, or you just want to support the YouTube channel more directly, you could also check out the YouTube channel membership Rancor Battalion for just 99 cents a month. You get access to exclusive badges, priority replies in my comment section, you get to check out all my reviews early here on YouTube, and you get to vote on what I review next for the channel, just like the Patreon members do. If you'd like some Blitz Transmissions swag, like this Blitz Transmissions crew neck I have on in Heather Gray, as well as several other colorways and other awesome merch that can be found on the Blitz Transmissions Armory over on Printify, that link can be found in the description below. If you'd like, you could join my Discord server. There's a link to that in the description, as well as links to all my social media, including my Instagram, my Blitz Bounties Instagram, X, TikTok, you name it! And I have my Gmail as well, blitztransmissions@gmail.com. And I think that's all for this episode of the Blitzcast. This is, again, it's funny, I need to stop saying on here that I'm going to start bringing Blitzcast back on Saturdays, because then something always happens where I don't bring it back on Saturdays. We're joined with a guest this week. That's the reason this week why there's a late Blitzcast episode and it wasn't out on Saturday. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and germs, once again, joined by the man himself. You've been begging for him to return. Commander Bly.
Salutations.
How we doing, Bly?
Well, Tommy, work has been trying to steal my soul.
Same.
For the last 2 weeks.
Yep.
And that's really part of the reason why we're doing this today and not yesterday.
Correct.
You know?
Yep.
Work and life and life and work.
Work and life and life and work.
Hey, public service announcement.
Hey.
If your hobby and fun time world is important to you, then I would recommend keeping that world separate from your real life world.
Hey.
Right?
Spitting.
Because I'll tell you what, like, thank you to all of the shows that I like to follow and participate in. Because really, you know, when real life is exhausting and you kind of just had enough, and you might be on the verge of choke slamming somebody, you know, that works for the same company you do. A good way to decompress is to enjoy your hobbies and your interests, like I've been doing with some of the channels that I enjoy. Help me decompress, help me come out of the real world BS and have fun in fun fantasy friendland, you know. But keep that world over here. Keep reality over here. If you're trying to smash those two worlds together, you're doing it wrong.
Facts. No one wants to hear stupid nerds who are not knowledgeable on anything outside of Discord and or OnlyFans.
Actually, go ahead.
Then no one wants to hear your dumbass opinion on real world events and real life stuff. So keep it to yourself.
But let me correct you. There actually is an audience for that.
There is.
Fellow stupid nerds that don't know shit about real life trying to smash fun hobby fantasy world into reality world. No worky.
Okay, but that comes from a place of your life is so meaningless and boring in real life that you feel like you taking a stand against imaginary things that you're not actually taking a stand against give you some sense of like it's got to give them like an adrenaline rush, you know, like it would if you were in like a real life confrontation, you know.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. I think it's like that. That's why they do it.
We
makes them feel alive, you know.
Yes, our species has not evolved to be overly comfortable and be in an environment that's too predictable and too safe.
Yes.
So when we are in an environment like that for too long, we ruin our own safety and expectation of safety for ourselves for a little bit of excitement. Yeah. You know what? Damn, I'm so bored. I'm so safe. There's such a lack of challenge in my life that I'm going to stir up some shite just to give myself something to fight for.
Yeah. Whether it be Star Wars or Tetris or...
Yeah, whatever.
Monopoly.
So moral of the story?
It ain't that real?
Get some skin in the game and do some hard physical labor.
Yeah.
Do a hard workout.
Yeah.
Do something actually for real, physically dangerous, and maybe even a little life-threatening. And then you'll be able to appreciate the joy of your hobbies, your whimsical interests.
Yes. You'll enjoy the whimsy.
Yeah,
the
that's
whimsy.
right.
So, Bly, what have we been up to? What's new aside from work? Anything?
No. Why do you want to set me up with a question like that?
I don't know.
We didn't prepare for
this. I've been asking what you've been up to.
We've been going over the script for 3 hours now, and you're just going to throw me a out of pocket question like that?
Yeah, I think I am.
Yeah. Well, what I want to do really. I'll tell you this. I'm excited for Toy Hio.
Toy Hio Show
next Saturday.
This coming Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah, you get a sip.
Yeah, you could expect videos. Definitely, there's going to be a video on Hybrid Toy Reviews channel because we're going to hang out with him this weekend.
I'm busy. Something just came up. I just got a text. I'm not going to be able to make it.
I think actually,
I'm sorry.
I'm going to have chicken pox that day.
Yeah.
So, okay.
I really have to wash my hair.
Yeah.
Damn, it's a shame. So check out Hybrid Toy Reviews for a review of Toy Hio
for
next Saturday.
Slop content that gets like 20 views a day.
Mm-hmm, that's right. Mm-hmm.
And then we'll also be meeting up with the legend Vincent of Carbonites.
Yes.
We'll be there. We will be meeting him in real life for the first time. Obviously, I've spoken to and you've spoken to him on several occasions.
Yeah. We worked out a little trade, lat hat for some Carbonites.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so we'll get to meet them. I believe the Max Rebo Experience, James is going to be there. He's usually there, so I would be surprised if he's not. And usually Phantom Menace Dennis makes an appearance as well, so we'll go hang out with him.
And Iceman. Dennis is the Iceman.
This is the last time that we'll be with just this crew, because then next Toy Hio we'll be joined by 1313 Jackson.
Outstanding. That's right. He'll be back.
Yeah.
Back to the motherland.
Jackson's coming back. He shipped his 5 suit back, so we know he's serious about coming back. So there is that coming up.
Yeah.
And then some other things. Guys, there was that interview I told you was maybe going to happen with someone that was in Star Wars in January. I'm not going to spoil it still, but that is still happening. Just, once again, real life sometimes gets in the way.
You may have an autograph from this person from Celebration 2.
You got the autograph. I now have it in my possession, yes. You can check out my short form content. I did a little unboxing short for that. So, let's cut to the chase.
Recent news, yeah.
Recent news. So, there's a lot that's been going on. We got our Maul Shadow Lord teaser trailer in the last couple weeks.
I mean, they did everything right.
They did.
They did everything right. Yeah. Which, if in comparison, juxtaposition, if you will, marketing for Maul Shadow Lord and Mando and Grogu, it's like, yes!
Oh, and Mandu and Grugo?
Oh, yeah, that one.
Mandu and
Grugo. Grongol and...
Mandu and Grongol.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but anyway, Maul Shadow Lord, man, that looks amazing. I had to immediately rewind. I didn't even get through the first watching of the trailer.
Yeah.
Because I was like, wait a minute. Did those lightsabers just cut those dudes in half?
I've watched it. Oh, that's the thing that keeps sticking out to me. This is Clone Wars combat.
Which, ironically, the first thing Disney did was shut down Clone Wars because they allegedly, reportedly, according to sources familiar with the situation.
Dude, trust me.
DudeTrustMe.com. DudeTrustMe.dude. Apparently, it was too violent for Disney's plate. They didn't like the show because of the violence.
Yeah.
And here we are, how many years later, and you've got Clone Wars-ish animation, slightly, I think a little tweak.
It's Clone Wars animation.
It keeps evolving each
with
time.
they've said like it's so a lot of the backgrounds are done on oil paintings.
Yeah,
on
that's
glass.
great.
That's
yes,
cool.
Yes, matte paintings.
Very
yeah.
Gendy. That reminds me a lot of Gendy.
Yes,
you know?
absolutely.
But also that it's Clone Wars animation with a little bit of an edge. It's got a little bit more sharpness to it to kind of give it Maul's perspective. So it's a little twisted, the way that Maul's a little twisted.
But so dude's getting cut in half on the trailer, and then I can't believe I heard word on the street is there's gonna be Darth Talon boobies up in there. like nipples and everything.
The Yahoos?
The dude. They're hanging out. That's what I heard.
That's crazy. Anyway, but Mando and Grogu coming out soon. We've got a big announcement that's going to be the main topic of the podcast. I've touched on it on the Blitzcast before, but of course, it's what Bly wants to talk about. We've got... That's pretty much it, right? I feel like there was like one other... Oh, a couple like video games and stuff like that probably won't get made anyway.
Yeah.
So let's just dive right in.
Yeah.
I feel like there was one other thing I was going to say, particularly about Maul.
Let me check my
Shadow
notes.
Lord.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just super excited for the show. Oh, already Sam Witwer's just delivery when he plays Maul. So many quotable. I've already got the "I will show you the galaxy for what it truly is." I'm like, I keep that line just goes through my head all the time.
Yeah.
That was what I was gonna say. His performance is just unbeatable. Right. I wouldn't want anybody else to ever voice Darth Maul.
Right.
Yeah, ever. Anyway, so we're gonna jump in.
The K-pop Demon Hunter cameo in the show is going to be amazing too.
Cameo, yeah.
It's like episode 6, I think.
Great. I can't wait. Yeah.
6, 7.
And then let's see Lizzo and Jack Black again.
That's right. Yeah.
General Bombardier.
Mm-hmm. And NSYNC is actually going to make it in.
NSYNC. Yeah. NSYNC. Yeah. Yep. So the main topic of this, it kind of comes from the announcement that's a few weeks old now about Dave Filoni and Lin-Manuel Brennan taking over as the co-presidents of Lucasfilm as Kathleen Kennedy has finally lost her last Muay Thai match against Jon Favreau.
I heard it was a thumb wrestling match. A 7-hour thumb wrestling match.
I heard it was like an Indian rug burn contest.
I don't know. Are you allowed to say that?
I heard I don't know. Is that a thing still? I know there was a thing when we were kids. We all played
crisscross applesauce rug burn.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
But or it was the eraser challenge. I still have a scar on my hand from middle school. The eraser challenge that she lost because she has those old witch hands.
That's right.
So we are here to perhaps educate you, perhaps inform you. Definitely not persuade you, because I feel like this is. I shouldn't have to persuade you on this. It's become quite alarming to me, and I know that this is your reason for wanting to join the pod this week. It's become quite alarming to me, the growing number of
experts,
self-proclaimed experts who claim to know Star Wars better than Dave Filoni. And this is something that I think needs to be talked about and addressed. So, Dad, you have some notes.
I do have some notes.
Take us in. Wherever you want to jump in first. Let's have a conversation about this.
Yeah, okay. Let me just start off by saying that, in my not-so-humble opinion, the Star Wars franchise is in the best hands that it's been in since George Lucas.
Agree.
Okay?
Agree.
And there's many reasons that I have this factual opinion, and anything other than that is wrong. My opinion, of course. Look, I had the opportunity, and Tommy, on your autographed Captain Rex that Dave Filoni signed the autograph, and then we put the Captain Rex in the shadow box, in the Shadow Lord,
In the Shadow Realm.
there on the back of that, I put notes from the talk that I got to watch.
How did I never know that?
I don't know. I thought I showed
We gotta
you.
get that. You did not.
So because I'm trying to remember the date that it was, but here's the thing: while Tommy's going to retrieve that, I had the opportunity. Okay, so let me just start. Let me preface with this. I have there. Here we go. So this is a Dave Filoni autograph to Tommy. He drew Captain Rex on there. It says, "To Tommy, may the force be with you." And the way this was acquired was I heard that Dave Filoni this was in the early 2000s. This was just shortly after the Clone Wars had begun. We were watching it, and I heard that Dave, who is a Pittsburgh native, was coming to his alma mater at the time, Edinburgh University. There it is right there.
How did I...
And then, so this is the email from Lucasfilm. No, this is not the email from Lucasfilm. This is the announcement email from Edinburgh University.
I didn't even know that this was in here.
Mrs. Bly is also an alum from Edinburgh University. So she got this email saying that Dave Filoni was coming to Edinburgh University in Edinburgh, PA, to do a talk with the art department. So on the back, I wrote notes on there.
Yeah, there's no... I never...
Here they are, yeah.
I never knew that this was in here.
So here are the notes. Yeah, there you go. See? Secret treasures. It's like the Goonies map in the painting.
It's like hidden... yeah.
So there's
the
the
Nick
original
Cage
email.
movie, the National Treasure movie.
So you want to briefly just maybe give the little synopsis, the announcement of him?
Yeah, Star Wars director to speak at Edinburgh University. Dave Filoni, class of 1996, 10 a.m. noon, Monday, November 23rd, 2009.
So right after the Clone Wars came out, 2008.
Free and open to the public. Dave Filoni was a graduate of the art department with a degree in applied media, reached the pinnacle of animation profession when he recently became the first Edinburgh University graduate to direct a major commercial feature-length animated film. In his brief yet impressive career, Mr. Filoni has served as an assistant director for the Fox television series King of the Hill, as an assistant director for the Warner Brothers series Mission Hill and The Oblongs, as an animator for several Disney television series, and as a writer and director for the Nickelodeon series Avatar: The Last Airbender. In 2006, David became perhaps the luckiest Star Wars fan in history when he was hired from relative obscurity by George Lucas to head the animation division of Lucasfilms and develop a television series based on the legendary Clone Wars story arc of the Star Wars films. Having impressed Lucas with his work for the small screen, Mr. Filoni was then commissioned to direct a feature-length film to launch the TV series. Star Wars: The Clone Wars opened in theaters in August of 2008, grossing over $65 million worldwide and being released on DVD in November of 2008. And then it just continues to talk about what he's doing right now.
Yeah.
So that's the email.
So there's the official, and you can just get rid of the email address.
Oh, yeah. Let's not show that.
Yeah, but you could take a picture and post that if people are interested in reading. So that was the official announcement. That was November 23rd, 2009 when he came to talk. And I have some notes here that I took while I was there. So when so the purpose of the presentation was just for Dave to talk to the current art department students at Edinburgh. Go ahead. You gonna say something?
No, I was just...
Okay. So, what it actually turned into was Dave on stage with his family in the front row. Family and friends were in the front row. And he was literally on stage. The theater was full of art department students. I do believe I may have been the only non-student Star Wars fan in the audience. If I wasn't, then if there were more, then everyone else was very quiet. Before he started talking, I saw Dave standing up at the front of the stage, prepping to go up. And I just came up. I said hi to him. It was kind of funny because at the time, both of us were kind of like a little bit awkward and didn't know what to say to one another.
Yeah.
We were just just two Star Wars fans in the same space, acknowledging each other's fandom. I did let him know that I was a member of the 501st, and I told him about my son that was a huge Clone Wars fan, and that we watched the show together, and that we really enjoyed it. And I had a clipboard with that picture on there of him, and asked him if he would, be kind enough to give an autograph, which, by the way, I'm just thinking about it now, for free.
For free. Yeah.
I mean, how many... First of all, I don't think Dave would be the kind of person to charge for autographs.
I don't think so either. Yeah. No.
But anyway,
he wouldn't be doing the Comic-Con circuit, that's for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think Disney would let him.
That too, yeah.
So what this turned into was Dave just telling basically his life story in front of this captive audience. I will say, and for probably a little more than an hour, he just talked. He wasn't reading from a script. He may have had some notes, but he was just talking. And let me just say that all of the self-proclaimed professionals and how do you say?
Self-proclaimed, that's appointed experts.
Self-appointed experts. All these people, film bros, whatever, that have very, very, very strong opinions about Dave Filoni. You don't know the dude, okay? Let me just say that from my experience, okay, so from the mid-90s until today, I've always been in professional positions where I interact with many personalities from many different backgrounds, okay? And I can tell you that in my amateur assessment of a person's quality, Dave is one of genuine, honest, creative, open-minded artist, if you will, okay? And that I truly believe that those of us that call ourselves professional Star Wars fans or shills, that he's just like us, okay? Just talking to the man face to face, no air of arrogance, very humble, personable, looks you in your eyes when you're talking, regular kind of guy vibes, okay? And then listening to the man talk about his life for over an hour on stage to his family who's there and students that he's addressing, the overall picture that I personally experienced was one of trust and faith of the Star Wars franchise in Dave Filoni's hands. Okay, I have some notes that maybe we'll cover. These were some things that I thought stood out. I was just trying to scribble things down as he was talking. I did ask him a couple questions after he was done talking. I will say I was the only one to ask Star Wars questions. I seemed to be the only one in the room that even knew the Clone Wars existed. Now, remember, this was a year after.
This was 2009.
Yeah, not even a year after, so it was November.
Probably, especially at the time, probably not a lot of college kids were turned on to Clone Wars at the time.
So the questions that he got were from the art department students. And he kind of pissed them off because he was basically telling them, because at the time, LucasArts and a lot of Lucas Animation work was being done in Singapore.
Yeah.
Okay. And the art students were asking, like, what do I need to do to acquire and build a career in digital art? And he told them, I'm not even joking, he said, well, you're going to have to move overseas. And there was silence. And a couple of them were like rebuttal question or further questions were like angry, like, so you're saying that unless I just want to make commercials for the local cable channel, I have to move to Asia or move to another country? And he's like, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's funny.
But he didn't pull any punches with them. He was just being straight up with them. So that was just a little side note of interest. But yeah, I just want to say, there's another thing that I'd like to add. Anyone that is, if you'd like to put in the work, if you'd like to do the research yourself about what kind of man Dave Filoni is, one of the best things you can do is listen to old episodes of Rebel Force Radio. Okay?
Shout out RFR, chut chut.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
High ground! Dave was allowed at the time. Clone Wars, no one knew about Clone Wars, okay? It was a shot in the dark. Gendy's Clone Wars was successful enough that George decided that they would do their own show.
Yeah.
And kind of sideline Gendy there. But it needed to be talked about. It needed to be advertised. And Dave Filoni was I don't know if he was directed to do so, or he probably felt compelled to do it on his own. But he had listened to the Force cast on theforce.net before it became Rebel Force Radio. And Dave followed all this stuff. People know that for episode 2, he dressed up like Plo Koon.
Yes.
His favorite Jedi. And he was marketing the Clone Wars on Rebel Force Radio with Jason Swank and Jibby Mack. And those three actually formed a really fun and cool relationship. Dave would come on and talk with the guys about the show, about the last episode or handful of episodes. They would ask Dave, hey, here's what we think is developing. Is this going to turn into this or that? And he would give them his typical...
I don't know. Have to see. I don't know.
Which is pretty much what he told me when I asked Tommy's question to him personally about my 8-year-old son would like to know, will there be a Wookiee Jedi? Will we see a Wookiee Jedi? And he paused. It was a pregnant pause. He was thinking about it. Either he already had ideas to do so, or that planted a seed for the creation of Gunji. Yeah. But anyway, if you really want to do a little bit of work, a little bit of homework, and learn some real information rather than just some clickbait crap or from some self-proclaimed experts and professionals about this individual, then you can check out those older episodes of Rebel Force Radio. Okay. So I'm going to look at these notes a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on this matter?
No, I've always, as someone who grew up with Dave Filoni Star Wars, obviously you could argue that I'm biased in that way, but I think growing up with Dave Filoni Star Wars and being the target demographic that the Clone Wars was meant for, and being the generation that grew up with and matured with that show season to season as it was intended to for my generation, I have a deep appreciation for the kind of Star Wars and the kind of storytelling that Dave Filoni wants to do. It's not trying to be the next Empire Strikes Back. it's trying to be Star Wars. That's what I always have gotten from anything that Filoni has spearheaded. I feel that way with Ahsoka. I feel that the live action Ahsoka series. I feel that when I'm watching it. Like I feel like this could be plopped into animation, and I could be watching it and feel like it's just another arc of the Clone Wars. Yeah. I feel the same way when I watch the Clone Wars or the Bad Batch or all these other shows that he has heavy influence on. He wants to tell stories about family. He wants to give children good positive messages in life. And that's
going to be echoed in one of these notes.
And he wants to be uplifting. That's what I love about the stories that Dave Filoni wants to tell in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, he doesn't want, and I understand, for some people don't watch kiddie cartoons.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it.
Some people, that's just not their thing. They want to see Darth Vader, 45 minutes straight of Darth Vader force choking and decapitating people with his lightsaber with like thrash metal in the background. You know what I mean? Shout out Slayer. But anyway, it's not for everybody. But this Dave's work with George directly, being his apprentice, his Padawan, if you will. Mm-hmm. He does get it. He gets what Star Wars is supposed to be.
Not what people say it should be. It's right. He knows what it is, right? Because he
like it or not,
he got to see it through George's vision of what Star Wars is.
Now, speaking of George's vision, so Dave has his own vision as well.
Of course.
Dave's vision was developed through his childhood, and I'm going to share a little bit of what his childhood experiences are bringing to the Star Wars franchise. So first, when I just read this note here, I actually forgot that I had when I was talking to Dave, I told him about how I was just recently in King of Prussia Mall for Lucasfilm and Cartoon Network. There was a touring Clone Wars interactive event that would go to the major malls.
Early screening type thing. Yeah,
that would go to the major malls in the U.S. And at King of Prussia outside of Philadelphia, they had... so I was Captain Rex there at that event, and I was talking to him about that. He talked about how he took off his not yet iconic hat and showed me that he had a wolf pin on his hat and a 501st pin on his hat. And we had a little bit of chat about that. And that's when I got that autograph signed. But here, let me share some of the things that Dave is bringing to Star Wars. Some core memories that are embedded into his psyche that you have seen already. Many influences from these things. So as he was growing up, he said opera was always in his house. Okay, opera. His parents were huge opera connoisseurs.
Okay,
and so one of the things that he was able to connect with opera, being a child, was this Disney film Fantasia.
Okay.
That gave him... He said that gave him the connection between imagery and music. Okay. And it just happened to be animation. Okay. Then he also talked about, he was an art department student. So clearly he is an artist. And you can even see from 5 seconds he signed that autograph for you and scribbled that Captain Rex on there.
Yeah.
Anyway, he said that... as a boy, he would practice his drawing skills by trying to draw from memory. He would see a car that drove by his house and then quickly from his memory try to draw what that car looked like. Okay, that was one of the things that he used to develop his artistic skill. Also, check this out, and you've definitely seen this. As a kid, his mom would read him The Lord of the Rings, okay? And that's why he frequently uses Lord of the Rings references. Mooch, I know you heard that. Now, he didn't say Peter Jackson's slop Hobbit trilogy. Okay? He said Lord of the Rings, specifically. Okay? But you'll see, and anyone who's a Lord of the Rings fan, which I am a huge Tolkien fan.
I would say my top 3 are Star Wars, Pokemon, Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
Top 3 for my enjoyment of franchises.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I'm Star Wars and Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
They're right there for me. Not some Pokemon slop. Although I have I have to do it.
Pokemon?
I gotta be the very best, like no one ever was. Shout out Stone Mandalorian. Or I want to be the very best. Yeah. Anyway, edit that out. Chat, clip that. When Dave was at Edinburgh University, he had a picture of George Lucas on the back of his dorm room door. Yes. Dave legit, when Dave was in college at Edinburgh, which, by the way, shout out 1313 Jacob. Jacob also graduated from Edinburgh University with a film degree.
Yes, he did.
Okay. Yeah, Dave, I actually forgot this note. Yeah. Dave literally had a picture of George Lucas on the back of his door in his dorm room. Okay. Here's another note, and I'm remembering some of this stuff as I'm reading it. So, after graduating from Edinburgh, he worked for Kenningston Falls Animation in Pittsburgh, and he wanted to work there because, they did an animation for the Pittsburgh Penguins mascot, Washington Capitals, and the Washington Capitals mascot. So Dave is a hockey player. Yeah. I don't know if he's still playing hockey, but he would play. There would be Edinburgh University didn't have a collegiate hockey team. Mm-hmm. They had a club team, and in the club team, Dave was always goalie.
Yeah,
that's his position is goalie. So he wanted to work for this animation company in Pittsburgh because they did animation for the Pittsburgh Penguins mascot. Yeah. Let's see. Dave failed his first 3 animation tests for a job at Disney.
Crazy.
Okay. Cinderella and Alice in Wonderland and Fox. Anastasia. Yeah. So yeah, he tried again. Okay.
Fail.
And so that was one of the early places he wanted to work. Also, didn't make it. So he went on and he got a job, obviously working on Avatar: The Last Airbender, and then he was on King of the Hill. Okay, which
shout out Hybrid's doppelganger Bobby Hill.
Oh damn! No, you didn't.
It's true though.
Let's see. Now this is something I never heard anyone talk about. Dave's mentor, a woman named Phyllis. Okay.
What you talking about, Phyllis?
The only time I've ever heard the names Dave Filoni and this Phyllis person, I don't know her last name. He didn't say, but he admired this woman, and he actually, when he was speaking of her, you could see the deep, sincere admiration that he had for this woman. Mm-hmm. And then when he spoke of her passing, he literally got choked up on the stage and had to take a minute. Okay, so he was mentored and championed by a woman named Phyllis. He said he doesn't talk much about it, but ironically, the same day he was hired as an animator on King of the Hill, he was very excited to tell Phyllis about his accomplishment. Unfortunately, he never got the chance, because that very day she had a stroke and died.
Crazy.
As Dave recounted this, he became emotional and had to pause for a minute before continuing. I was sitting there. I'm sitting there watching this man pour his soul out to complete strangers on a stage in front of his own family, and like I'm getting tears in my eyes and getting choked up listening to him talk about this. Interrupt me anytime you.
You're good. You're good. I'm just listening.
So just 3 more bullet points that I had here. And then I do have some other couple notes.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
He said later, while working on Avatar: The Last Airbender, he coined the term Amerime for American anime. Amerime to describe American animation.
Would we call obligatory 2/12 Hunter mention? Would we call 2/12 Hunter Amerime?
I think so.
Miku, Miku, Miku.
Oh man,
He's gonna be sitting on the job site, freezing his ass off. Bray.
cutting up those hands. Let's see. Oh, and then he also talked about. He said premiere of Revenge of the Sith. He said before. So that must have been Attack of the Clones.
Before being hired by Lucasfilm. Yeah, it would make sense that he had a Plo Koon costume for Revenge.
Revenge of the Sith.
That was where we really saw Plo Koon was
exactly.
in Attack of the Clones.
So yeah, that's what he said. And then and here's my note about the Wookiee Jedi. I said during the Q&A, I asked Dave I told Dave that you had seen concept art for a Wookiee Jedi, and you'd like to know if we'd see a Wookiee Jedi in the Clone Wars. He paused for a moment before answering and said something to the effect of, "We'll see." Now, a connecting story, having talked to Daryl DePriest.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Former global marketing manager for Hasbro.
Global brand management.
Brand manager, yeah.
Vice president.
Yes.
Global brand management at Hasbro. Yeah.
He said that Hasbro was trying to. They wanted to make a Wookiee Jedi action figure.
They did.
And there were 3 rules that Lucasfilm would hold fast on. I don't remember the other 2, but literally one of them was
no Wookiee Jedi.
No Wookiee Jedi.
Yeah.
Don't know why. It was a George thing.
Yeah.
I mean, George hates Mara Jade. I mean, he has his little predilections, whatever. But yeah, they were not to make a Wookiee Jedi action figure.
Ever.
Right, ever. And then, mysteriously, suddenly, somehow,
just a couple years later,
a Wookiee Jedi appears in the Clone Wars.
Because in 2009, Season 2 would have already been out.
Yes.
They would have already been storyboarding Season 3.
Yes.
Which means, and Gunji showed up in Season 4.
Yeah. I'm just saying. The timelines line up.
I'm just saying.
You know what I mean? Things, let me just get deep for a minute here. We are limited to 5 feeble senses. Certainly, there are more things happening in the universe than we are able to perceive. That's all I'm saying.
Oh. What I think I love about when any interview you watch with Dave Filoni, you could watch one from him at Star Wars Celebration last year. You could watch him at any sort of panel, any sort of convention.
Cheers, Dave Filoni. I trust you. In Dave we trust.
In Filoni we trust. Yeah. When he talks about Star Wars, yeah, he himself is a fan. And he knows what to do with the franchise, and then on top of that, he's a fan, so he knows what fans want to see. This might be a little controversial for some that can't handle the truth. Andor, as good of a show as it is,
don't say it.
Loses.
Don't say it. All right, go ahead.
I'm gonna make some people upset.
Yeah.
Andor.
Brace yourself.
Andor is real life in Star Wars, whereas Star Wars is Star Wars influenced by real life. There's a difference, and I hate when I see a lot of it's in a lot of ways. Andor is too close, in my opinion, to real life. We're in Star Wars, but you can tell that Tony Gilroy was using his perception of current events to tell that story over the last 5 or so years. And it's painfully obvious that he was telling his own personal beliefs in a story. And I think that is the key differentiator between Dave Filoni Star Wars, George Lucas Star Wars, and this much more adult, mature thing that we call Star Wars. If that makes sense. That's why I always say I don't see a generation of kids growing up and saying Andor is their favorite Star Wars. In the same way that I could see a generation of kids saying that The Bad Batch is their favorite Star Wars, or saying maybe Maul Shadowlord in 10, 15 years is their favorite Star Wars. Because there is an audience for Andor. I love that show.
I did.
Don't get me wrong. It's a phenomenal show.
I did as well.
I think that...
But Andor could have been a phenomenal show without
being Star
nothing
Wars.
Nothing that says Star Wars on it.
Correct.
Without... It was a wonderful, masterfully done story.
Yeah.
On TV.
Yes, it was.
Amazing. And deserves all the accolades it gets. But... It deserves all the accolades it gets. But you could just erase Star Wars off of it, and it wouldn't change it. It would be just as amazing.
Yeah.
Okay? Star Wars is not... I was sitting here trying to think of a metaphor or an analogy, but I'm failing. Tony had his story that he wanted to tell, and they just sprinkled Star Wars on it.
Correct. That's a good way to put it.
They
Salt Man. That's that's a deep cut now. They
might call you Unk. Star Wars on it.
Might call you Unk. You might call me Unk for knowing that.
Yeah.
I think that it was a story that he wanted to tell. There were messages he really wanted to be in there. And we slapped Star Wars on it. Boom.
And he executed all of that masterfully.
Yes. I'm not trying to take away from it at all. Yeah, definitely not.
I'll tell you this. I was worried, like, after Andor, I was thinking, I really feel bad for whatever Star Wars show comes out after Andor, because everything is going to be put to the direct comparison. Well, compared to Andor, this is slop.
Well, there's the film bros do that already. They're saying that I expect everything going forward to be as good as Andor. This is the difference, though. That's why it's cool when you have a project that's aimed toward adults, that's more mature, more complex, much more soap opera-y, even though Star Wars is a soap opera in of itself. You have something that appeals to adults. But what has Star Wars always been? Something that appeals to 12-year-olds. And that brings us to...
And also adults.
And that's what brings us to...
That's the part people forget.
Yes.
So it doesn't only appeal to just young people coming of age, but it also happens to appeal to adults.
Well, and let us not forget where we came from as Star Wars fans. Everything that you know about Star Wars came from when you were little and you watched Star Wars. Everyone that says that they've loved Star Wars since the original trilogy came out, most of you went and watched it when you were children. Most of us prequel generation that say, I've been a Star Wars fan my whole life. Most of us, it's because we watched Star Wars, whether we watched the OT or the PT first. It's because we were kids. We watched it. We attached ourselves to it, and then we grew up with it. And we have I think we forget about why we fell in love with Star Wars. I talk about this all the time on the Blitzcast. I think sometimes we forget about why we fell in love with Star Wars and what Star Wars is at its core. And that's, I think, something that Dave Filoni always has at the forefront of his mind, is what Star Wars is at the core.
Right.
Not what adults say that they think it should be.
Right. No, there's a place for stuff like Andor.
There is, absolutely. Dave Filoni has said that himself.
Yeah, that's right. I think Andor is, Kathy Kennedy was continually trying to diversify Star Wars storytelling.
Right.
We're going to have a comedy. We're going to have a horror. We're going to have a mystery, or a sci-fi drama type thing. Andor was the most successful of that line of thought.
Yeah. Well, Mando. I would argue is more commercial success.
I would say Mando is more Star Wars than... I mean, Mando is clearly more Star Wars than Andor.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, when you're trying to not
do
be
something
Star Wars.
new.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Trying to take it
I
into
would
a different
agree.
direction.
No, I actually would say it was the Acolyte.
You would actually be stupid and wrong. And also, you should choke yourself. Yeah.
Okay, back to the topic at hand.
I would say Resistance.
All right, How I Runner.
How I Runner.
Shout out How I Runner.
Shout out.
I can tell the difference between an L and an I on the computer screen.
That's right. That's right.
Wrong.
Hal Contrarian.
Hal
Contrarian Runner.
Contrarian base.
Yes.
Yeah.
Contrarian Runner base.
So, Dad, you had some other notes?
I may have had... Oh, so I just wanted to talk about... So, because of Mr. Filoni and his who he is as a person and his tutelage also from the maker himself, it created this show that myself and my 8-year-old son at the time... Somebody at the door?
No, I was looking for who you were pointing at.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I don't know. What, right here, this is... I was,
Sunlight.
my son and I, we had such amazing memories and experiences in real time as we on Fridays would watch Cartoon Network, right? Friday night Cartoon.
Friday night. If you came home late from work,
would be
I would wake up early Saturday morning, watch it on
Yes.
cable without you, and then pretend that I did it.
I know you were cheat watching. I know. Actually, TBH, I didn't even know that you were doing that until I heard you say that not too long ago. But whatever.
No, I remember, I have a distinct memory. You caught me one time, and I tried to
Oh, that's right.
No, it just played. It just no, I don't know what
it came on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, to be fair, there's a couple times when I watched it without you too. So, but anyway,
That's crazy.
but we both would. It wasn't a chore, an act. It wasn't like, oh, let me pretend to be interested in this thing that my son is interested in,
Right.
so that we can manufacture a connection. No, we both loved the show.
Yeah.
We were so excited to see, and then it would be a repeat randomly, like, oh, when's the new episode coming?
I've talked about this before too on the Blitzcast, but I remember there would be times I have photographic memories. One time you were ironing clothes in the kitchen, and I walked in and I was like, Dad, it's been 6 months and it's just reruns. When are they gonna finish the season? Little did I know the season was already over.
Yeah.
We're waiting for the next season.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would be like, Dad, what? We keep recording it on the cable.
And that was when you learned about syndication.
Yeah. Or I remember another vivid one is we were sitting next to each other. It was always on the living room floor.
Yeah. Oh
in
yeah.
front of the TV. And
a lot of times you'd be laying on my back.
Yes.
I'd be laying on the floor.
Yeah.
And you would lay on my back
Yeah.
and we'd watch. Yeah.
Mother Towson showing Savage in the crystal ball.
Oh my!
Your brother. And I remember just jaw drop.
Both of us lost our shit.
It was awesome. I remember seeing Savage Opress for the first time beat up Commander Trauma and destroy those two Jedi. I remember moments
with his axe.
I very vividly remember the opening of season 3 with the Clone Cadets episode. Very, very vividly remember that 2-part opening and the season 4 opening with Waterworld.
How could you say the Clone Cadets without saying our Commander Blitz?
Well, that's the name of the episode.
Yeah.
Clone Cadets.
I know. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah. That stupid ass ARC Trooper. No one likes that
guy.
Yeah. So many being crushed that Cad Bane killed Denal.
Dude, okay, so you always talk about this, and I was the same way. Man, and let's go back to Dave, shame on you, man. You made us love these random ass clones so that you could murder them in atrocious ways and make our hearts bleed over it.
There's a a quote that I love to use. It's from a YouTube channel called The Cosmonaut something. His name is The Cosmonaut. He's like a film bro YouTube channel. He did a like video about the Clone Wars.
Okay.
And one of my favorite moments is he's just talking about the show and how much he likes it. And he's like, and this show kills people like it's going out of style.
It puts Walking Dead to shame.
It does. It just kills. It's like, he's like, anybody that you think you might like that isn't a character that lives in episode 3, dead. Just assume they die a horrible, brutal death. Or I remember too, watching like the Citadel arc. Specifically,
that's what I'm talking about. Cut in half by the ventilator.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah. Wait. We lost one. I'm like, what?
I know.
What kind of a reaction is
that? And then
that?
the diabolical names.
Yes.
Keeley, I'm a gonna die.
Admiral Doa.
Yeah.
Just there's like or
Charger,
long shot. Or how about because that was the thing. It was like they would die and I'd be sad, and then you would know they had a name, and you'd be like, oh
yeah.
Or like I remember watching obviously like the Parasites episode. I remember watching that together, and that was creepy.
Yeah.
And I remember watching the zombie G. I was super intrigued by the zombie G notion.
Great action figures back in the day too.
And then
which we need.
Well, and like now it's like I feel like it's coming full circle because now Hasbro just did the new Black Series Geonosian.
Why would you not?
I can't wait to see what the TVC one looks like.
Yeah.
I can't wait. But I obviously I try not to talk action figures as much as possible on the Blitzcast, but the toys were such a big part of it.
Absolutely.
And I mean here.
Oh, that's one of the things that I wanted to mention.
Yeah.
So that was your first Captain Rex? Yep.
The one.
That's one of the things I wanted to mention. How much fun it was for me watching you as a kid on Christmas mornings.
Yes.
Opening up a dump truck load of Star Wars vehicles and action figures. So much fun for me to buy them.
Yeah.
So much to wrap them.
Yeah.
Stick them under the tree. Well, when I would leave them for Santa Claus to put underneath the tree.
Right,
you know?
right.
And then, but then to be able to watch you open those, and then also play with them with you.
Yeah,
it was just the memories, so much fun. And and the catalyst for all that really is the Clone Wars.
It is.
Both
it really
both
is. It really
Clone
is.
Wars and the Clone Wars.
Yes. Oh, 03 Clone Wars all day.
Never every day.
Well, and that's what I loved about
much respect.
And that's where it's like Dave Filoni is a fan because when you go into the Clone Wars like first season, it's implied that Ventress and Obi-Wan and Anakin have all met. Yep. It's implied, especially Anakin and Ventress. It's implied that the events of Volume 1 of the Clone Wars did in fact happen.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that it's never stated definitively, but it's very loosely.
So I'm gonna postulate here. George had no problem just rewriting. Whatever, I'm doing this now. Oh, I don't even care.
Dave says the same thing.
Yeah,
he said at Celebration a few years ago.
Yes.
If it's not in a movie or in a show, it doesn't count.
Right.
And it can be rewritten.
But so I feel that, and that, yes, I understand that as far as like canon level goes.
Yeah.
G level canon.
Yeah,
George
G
level
canon. Yeah.
So, but I feel that my heart tells me that it was Dave who made it a point not to deliberately erase and make irrelevant because he's an animation man himself.
Yeah.
There's no way, I would love to hear, and he probably has spoken about this, I'm just not aware of it. I would love to hear Dave's thoughts on Tartakovsky's work. Oh, I know he's talked about it.
I know
I'll bet
he
you
loves
if we go back and watch like behind the scenes on the Clone Wars DVDs, I'm sure.
Well, I just saw the clip today. Indeed. I actually
wait. I think it's wait. I think it's is it Samamadula Kanduku?
Yeah. I was telling Jen and I went and visited her brother and sister-in-law when they had their baby. They have a 2-year-old. His name's Micah. And Micah's like learning English. Like, most of the time I understand him, but there were several times throughout the weekend where he would say something and I would just go, yeah. And just, yep. Yeah. You got it, man. And he would just like run off like you understood him. And I showed her brother Josh that clip from the Clone Wars.
So he's actually Asajj Ventress in disguise.
Yeah. So no, but I had said like this is
that's what
I said. This is that like I said this is how I feel sometimes trying to understand what Micah's trying to say to me, and I just go indeed. But yeah, I mean we could sit here forever and just talk about memories of Clone Wars and things that I remember. I literally I remember watching the Umbara arc as it was coming out. Could you imagine being left on cliffhangers every week like we did for 4 weeks straight?
Yeah. You got to both be you got to have anxiety about what was going to happen next for a whole week.
Yeah, and then Cartoon Network would like I was a huge Cartoon Network kid.
Oh yeah.
And I would just ad after ad after ad promoting the upcoming episode and you're just like, "Oh, that Ponkrell guy, man. I don't know how they're going to get out of this one." Like it really was like just such a special show and it's the epitome of what I think this next generation of Star Wars fans needs. Something like this. I think there's already something in The Mandalorian for this next generation. Yeah. And I think this movie, from what I've heard from people in it who are critical of Star Wars, recent Star Wars, like Brendan Wayne, I know I've brought it up several times now on the show. Everybody says Dave and John have a vision. They will tell you this is a step that's necessary for the overarching story we're trying to tell. And I think they know what they're doing. I think that they have the best. This is what I said when I did my In Filoni We Trust, or it was with my Blitz Barracks with Hunter and Scott. Shout out Scott. I would rather have Star Wars that never is the most amazing, beautiful, Empire level thing I've ever seen, but have it all be good and consistent, than have some stuff that's amazing and some stuff that sucks. Yeah. I would rather have it all be I'd rather have accuracy than have it be all over the place.
And I would rather have less quantity, more quality.
Correct.
I'm okay with waiting. We used to wait 3 years between films. Okay? I'm okay with waiting if the product is on point.
And I'm going to be real. I heard the recent announcement, shout out Sarlacc Digest, that's where I get some of my Star Wars news from, that a lot of movies are being shelved or, kind of put on the back burner right now. Could that be a byproduct of, okay, we need to just focus on the Mandoverse. Let's just hone in on this one thing, and then on the side we can do these animated stories. That's a different, a different era, a different world altogether, rather than having too many cooks in the kitchen and trying to do all this stuff, because what Mando's doing is telling you new story in uncharted territory. We really don't know in the Mandoverse like what's going to happen. We have, at this point, probably like 25 years between this point and Force Awakens. There's a lot of story that can be told, a lot of unknowns, whereas everyone knows what happens between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. So if you keep plugging stories in there, like your Tales of shows, do that, and then you can get both at the same time. Yeah. But so that's why Dave Filoni is the best choice. And if you disagree, you're wrong.
Yeah, you're just,
stupid and wrong.
It's okay to be stupid and wrong. It is. Most people are stupid and wrong.
Most people are just stupid.
But there was I call it passionate ignorance.
Ah, there you go.
Passionate ignorance. People who are so fired up and they're really, really strongly opinionated about a thing they know nothing about.
I had said this recently to somebody. It's always the most uneducated and privileged of us that are the loudest about things that make us upset.
You know, you say uneducated. I would say
uneducated on a topic.
Okay, yeah. Uneducated on a topic. Okay, yeah. Great. Okay,
yeah.
So that was my assumption about what you were saying. But I would also say, like, I'm not interested in opinions from people with limited life experience. Now, some people are prodigies, like yourself. You know, you may be younger, but you are wise beyond your years.
I do my best to hold my tongue when I need to, and speak when spoken to.
Right. It's
but
good.
Also, I also understand that I have quite a bit more real life experience than most 25-year-olds ever will.
That's correct. Ever will.
Yeah, ever have will. Or ever will.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's true. That's very true. So, you know.
If you know, you know. Oink, oink.
Opinion away. Yeah. Opinion away. Those that we're all entitled to our own opinions. I do just find it comical. Nah, it's not comical. Kind of pisses me off, TBH. You know what I mean? It's like, you're an overly comfortable shell of a human with soft baby hands. I'm not interested in your opinion. You know what I mean? Like, if you've been through some shit, if you live some life, if you've maybe had your actual life in danger a few times, if you've had also, if you're humble, if you're respectful, if you're actually open-minded, not virtue signaling open-minded,
not fake pretend to be
right,
open-minded,
then I might be interested, because I might be able to learn something from you, regardless of age and regardless of personal experience, you know. But yeah, as far as the people that are dookying all over Dave Filoni, just to bring it back around, bring it around town. I can say, from my personal interactions and from the couple years of listening to Dave, you know, interact genuinely with Jason Swank and Jimmy Mack on Rebel Force Radio, I have faith that we're in good hands. I might even go so far. I might even be as bold to say that we might be in better hands than George Lucas.
Whoa! And with that, we're going to leave you with that, guys. So again, if you enjoyed this episode of the Blitzcast, make sure to like the video, or if you're on a different platform, you can comment and let us know what you thought. Do you think Dave Filoni's a good pick? Are we stupid and wrong? Let us know why we're stupid and wrong, and why you know better than we do.
You know what? And if you do believe that, you're certainly entitled to it.
You are.
And we don't care.
We do not care. We do not care. And with that, guys, we so hoping...
Shout out Mike Tomlin.
We so hoping you so having a good week. And we'll catch you for the next one. May the Force be with you, sir.
Breaking off. All units, fire at will. 1-2, pick a target. Too many, Captain. Watch your stabilizer, Gold 6. Anybody cover me. I got 2 vultures on my tail. Gotta hold them here. Watch your left. I can't shake them. I'm hit. Where's our reinforcement?